Good evening.
How's it going?
Not too
Happy
bad.
Monday once again.
So we're on episode 13, and we avoided recording on Friday the 13th.
We did. We'd initially sort of planned to do it, but I had a really lazy half day on Friday and went to Lord's, as you do, to
The new
see
home of Jamie.
Well, it's sort of become Dad got me a membership, and it's like, well, I can go up and make the most of it, so why not? And like Middlesex were playing Notts, so it was a rare opportunity to see one of the greatest fast bowlers of all time, Mr. Stuart Broad. And I thought, why not take advantage of that? And while I was sat there kind of casually watching away, I had a wonderful chat with Georgie Thurgood from Tennessee Fields, kind of catching up with her. And then a few of my friends texted me not long after saying, do you want to go for drinks tonight? And it's like, does Judith Chalmers have a passport? Is the Pope a Catholic? You know, all those sort of things. And it's like, why not? Shoreditch on a Friday, happy days. And then Saturday morning, took a little trip up to Nottingham, as you do, casually for the weekend.
And there's only one place you can go in Nottingham when you're there.
And we did indeed go there for lunch. It sort of reminded me about, it's like, why a lot of people have issues about groups of men that go out places together. So if you've not been to Nottingham before, you're not aware, Nottingham is the home of the only Hooters in the United Kingdom. And so naturally we enjoyed a wonderful meal, me and my friend Kate, of wings, and
curly fries. I remember curly fries.
No, we went for tater tots actually, which was a really good shout because they were really, really good. And yeah, the food there was really good. It was really nice. Service was great. And yeah, enjoyed it. And then Saturday night, watched Eurovision like most other people did.
Yeah, we kind of pretty much won it, didn't we? We came second, but
we did.
No one had the hope of winning it this year.
It was interesting. You know, it's the same as always. You get the bizarre, the weird, and the wonderful with some of those songs. You had like a Norwegian song about people dressed as wolves singing about bananas, and then you had some other sort of stuff like a Serbian entry that did quite well, the woman looking like she was recreating a scene from Ghost doing the pottery and kind of all this. But you know, it was cool. Like we were sort of saying before, like Sam Ryder, the guy that's a UK entrant who obviously did fantastic, you know, massive TikTok star and stuff, worked really hard to try and go around Europe and, you know, try and make it look like we're taking it seriously. But he's actually from my hometown in Malden. So probably now overtaking Alistair Cook as the most famous person from Malden. So a guy that didn't. I was going to say a guy that didn't win. I think the only other people from around there that have any sort of celebrity fame, the guy that played Reg Hollis from The Bill, he's from Malden as well. You know, just all these sort of, you know, absolutely random, like nothing sort of things. And yeah, so Eurovision was done and dusted. And yeah, it was a good way to spend Saturday night after going to Hooters.
And isn't that something like our first top 5 in 13 years or something silly like that?
It was just sort of mad. But, you know, it was some of the songs were actually all right. Like I was sort of like.
I thought the Sweden one was quite good. I remember the Sweden one.
Sweden are always solid. You know, I think, you know, in a normal circumstance that could have done really well. Like same as our song, it was kind of ticked a lot of Eurovision boxes.
Now the Australia one, that was pretty weird. He had like
He looked very odd with his kind of. He looked like a peacock.
He had some Orville Peck type face thing going on, and I couldn't quite work out what's going on. At the same time, you're like, why are Australia in this anyway?
Like the Spanish song was decent, like that. Sweden, we said, and in massive agreement with Dan Wharton from Your Life in a Song. We were both big fans of the Armenian entry, actually, which in terms of, you know, the actual song and, you know, sort of everything about that, it probably felt the sort of, you know, one of the best songs. There was kind of one almost like country Americana type one, the Icelandic one. But if they'd have sung in English, we might have kind of took more out of it and stuff. But it sounded nice, sounded a little bit first aid kit like. But yeah, there's your Eurovision content, which makes
I feel like we're covering
a big
everything.
change. We're normally talking about sport, and it's like, let's talk about the thing as far away from sport as possible.
What we're actually kind of here to talk about.
Well, I was going to say, we're going to kind of like sort of drift. We kind of temporarily drift back into that. It's like, while I was, enjoying wings up at Hooters in Nottingham, you had a pretty sort of cool sort of event over the weekend.
Yeah, I was at the Women's Cup final on Sunday, which was actually a really good game. So my daughter plays for Chelsea Academy, so yeah, we kind of went along to that. And as a Fulham fan, it's quite hard to sit and cheer for Chelsea. And your options were kind of Chelsea or Man City, so I kind of went with, well, it's Chelsea women, so I can just about justify that, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we had really good seats on the halfway line, so great view of like the trophy lift and everything as well. So yeah, it was a good game, and some of the goals were rather unique. The winning goal was a bit of a fluff shot.
It appeared more interesting than like the actual the men's FA Cup final. Kind of,
one of the goals was amazing. She smashed it in off the crossbar. It's kind of Tony Yeboah style for one of them. One of them was a fluffed. So one of the Chelsea goals was a total fluff cross that the girl headed into an empty net, and then the winning goal again was she should have crossed. Sam Kerr should have passed it, went for the shot, was totally going to mess up the shot, and hit the Man City defender and went in. So it's a bit of a harsh one to win, but so most of my daughter's football team came along, and there was kind of split loyalties to the final 5 minutes of extra time, because for all of them, they'd never seen a penalty shootout really live.
Oof.
So it was like suddenly everyone's wanting Man City to win, or Man City to draw even, just so they can see a penalty shootout. So it was quite split loyalty to the end, but no, really good game. There was 50-something thousand people there as well, so it's amazing.
That's really, really good.
Yeah,
just sort of showing you've sort of seen a lot of in some of the women's sport how much the investment's paying off. Like you see it with cricket and things like what they sort of had with the 100 and kind of the T20 and things they kind of get going over here and stuff. And you sort of saw it with the World Cup and things when the women's, when everyone got sort of behind it in in football. So
yes, it's another live event to take me to. Is that 3 in a week? I think I'm nearly not quite at your whatever it was 5 in 7 nights you managed.
Well, yeah. So I think
I got 3 in a week.
I think when we last sort of did it, we were sort of teasing that I was going to Keith Urban on Friday and you were going to Keith Urban on Saturday, which ended up becoming I went to Keith Urban on Friday and then went to Keith Urban on Saturday as well. So we were at Hammersmith Apollo kind of last weekend, which seems like forever ago.
It does feel like forever ago now.
Friday night was absolutely Sergio Ramos inside there. It was packed. Saturday was really cool.
It was a decent amount. There was space around, and I think you spoke about how there was a lot of pauses for talk and looking at set list times and things from other places. So it was on for 2.25 hours, whereas Saturday night it was 1 hour and 3/4, which I think is a decent.
Which is perfect.
Time. And there was one bit of bringing the married couple up on stage and that usual kind of keep there.
Friday just sort of felt like, because I went to Brothers Osborne as well on a Monday at the Roundhouse.
Oh God, I've forgotten that one.
And it's almost as if when you go to the gigs in London, that you sort of come in, because obviously whenever you go to a venue, you come in at the back and people just sort of congregate near to the back. But if you can move round to the sides, because I was round kind of with Charlotte, our photographer, and we had loads of space. There was kind of no one sort of around us and stuff. But if you tried to go back to the bar and things, you could barely move and things. Again, it's just really odd sort of how stuff comes. But Roundhouse, love that venue. Was there twice in 7 days. Hammersmith, it grew on me a little bit more from the Saturday to the Friday, but still.
No, I went to my usual spot. As you go in, go to the left. It's normally a little bit quieter. So yeah, I kind of went to my usual spot there.
I'm still in the belief of play Brixton, not Hammersmith, because it's an easier venue for me to get home from. Is my verdict. And then the last gig of the 7 was Brett Eldridge on Wednesday when I saw you, and that was a cool.
Was Tuesday?
Was it? Oh yeah, it was Tuesday.
I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah, nearly a week ago. Wow. But yeah, that was cool. That was a venue that I never sort of remember what that venue is like inside. But the best thing about Kentish Town Forum, they serve Truly like behind the bar, so you can buy cans of Truly. Which when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So it's like I've sort of messaged like Ruthie Collins. It's like, this is where we need to go drinking when you come over. And like it's like amazing. So because you can't get Truly over here like freely. So that was fun. And that was the array of gigs that happened like over that sort of time.
Yeah, because Brett Eldridge, obviously, for a lot of people, would have been pretty much the last gig before lockdown, wasn't it? Because he played I want to say February 2020.
I can't remember if it was him and Chase Rice were kind of the last two.
Yeah, so he was the guy, other than kind of Berlin, he was kind of the last one I saw in England. So for a lot of people, that probably would have been their last main big gig kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yes, it was quite interesting to see that he has made the effort to come back, was still had such a presence on stage, and just did not want to stop at all, did he? So it was great to see. And again, I think, same as we've seen with so many these last couple of weeks coming back, just so appreciative of the fans still being there, still going out, doing exactly as they were before lockdown kind of thing.
On the subject of Brett Eldridge, he was one of it was a very quiet week for new music actually, on like Friday sort of coming in, with Friday being a release day. We had the new album from 49 Winchester, which came out on Friday, and we're going to be talking to Isaac Gibson this week all about that record. So that will sort of be coming at some point, depending when you're listening, watching this. Also, with the reason it kind of tied in very nicely was Brett had a new song that came out as well, Wait Up For Me. That came out on Friday. And kind of the only other one I really sort of picked up was Ingrid Andress. It's been great. You know, she released kind of the second track, which is going to be off her sophomore project called Seeing Someone Else. That came out too. So it's really great to kind of see that her new music's kind of progressing and sort of getting things along. And kind of nice tedious link to Keith Urban as well, because she's going to be Keith's opener for the US leg of his world tour coming through. And it's nice to kind of see people that say they do a world tour that go everywhere.
North America.
Yeah, well, exactly. Do an extensive European tour. It's like, you know, it's not like, oh, it's a world tour where I play America, Canada, and 4 dates in Ireland. You know, that's not a world tour, is it? But God, that sounded really salty.
I'm going to Ireland for that, thanks.
It's fine. I'm not. But anyway, anyway, we don't need to kind of go down the route of why Garth doesn't want to play in England, but that's fine. And kind of the only other sort of tour news that we've kind of picked up, a couple of bits of tour news. So Carrie Underwood's got her extensive tour back end of the year and into next year. She's announced that Jimmy Allen is going to be her opener. So if you're heading over stateside to see Carrie, that would be great that you've obviously got Jimmy there. And on this side, the kind of the big sort of news in regard to tours has been, it's not really tours, it's the Long Road Festival. They have announced some more names that are going to be coming to be playing.
Yes, I think the kind of the 3 standout ones for me from the announcement were all at C2C in...
Well, you got 4 that played C2C.
Oh, yeah, Everett as well, didn't they? Yeah, so you got Shy Carter, Taybeh, Jess Moskaluk, and Everett kind of, were big hits, big favourites of ours. And obviously we kind of had a feeling Jess Moskaluk may get added because she's here for the British Country Music Festival, which is like 10 days later or something, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Because it starts September. So, so we had a feeling she may well get added to the lineup if possible. So, so it'd be good to kind of see those guys all back. Obviously, we don't know if they'll be doing any separate dates, but we can only hope there might be a couple of more dates. I think people would probably love to see Shy Carter just do a...
By the look at kind of what they've done, because a few of the other names that kind of got added, you've got Amethyst Kia, you've got Benjamin Francis Leftwich, Sam Williams, kind of they're the sort of the main ones to kind of see. I think Shy's going to be playing the main stage. Taybeh and Jess, by the look of it, are going to be on the interstate. We're not entirely sure about kind of full day splits and stuff where the new people have kind of been added.
No, I saw Everett did, I want to say, they posted saying they're there on the 28th.
They're doing the front porch, which is the kind of like the.
Oh, that's their putt, isn't it? I like that. That's probably one of my.
Yeah, that they will be so good to watch on that stage. I think like that'll definitely be, I think, one of like the absolute must sees really for a lot of people, because they were so good at CC. You know, I thought they were really cool to chat to. I think, you know, their record was really sound, but kind of just seeing them live, they just look cool. They just look really, really cool. And, you know, it's one of those sort of bands you sort of think, yeah, you know, that's kind of something you want to get involved in, which links in very, very nicely to what I've just finished watching on Netflix as a massive,
you haven't told me.
As a massive recommendation for anyone that's a music fan. So on Netflix, it's definitely here in the UK. I assume it probably is in the US and kind of other sort of place as well. There is a documentary called That Little Old Band from Texas, which is the story of ZZ Top, which genuinely is one of the most amazing stories and just like one of the most fascinating things to watch, like just sort of going all the way through about how they sort of transformed like blues and what they sort of did as being like probably one of the first bands to kind of use like music videos properly that weren't just a live performance video. It's about an hour and a half long. Say it's definitely worth an absolute watch. It's just so cool. I came across it by chance. I was like, because I think I'd sort of said before, like when I listen to the radio, I listen to Radio X rather than kind of the country stations or Radio 2 or things over here. And like I listened to Chris Moyles in the morning, and he played like Lagrange, and like when they were sort of when they played it, they were talking about how there's this documentary on Netflix. It's like, oh, that sounds really cool. And then like when I was obviously sat on the coach going up to Nottingham at the weekend, I sat and watched it, and it's really cool.
You failed to mention earlier you went by coach.
Well, no, well,
yeah, you slummed it on the megabus like a used.
Right, time out, right. I came back on the train, which was like, I couldn't move. I couldn't get a seat and stuff. I booked a seat, but someone was sat in it, and it's like, I just really can't be asked to muck about. It's like, it's fine. I'll just sort of stand. It's like, it's only not too long, and it took like nearly 3 hours. Whereas I went on a coach going up on the Saturday morning, like brand new big Mercedes coach and stuff. There's about 3 other people on it. It was just like, sort of like lie out and space out. It was brilliant.
Free Wi-Fi and everything on Megabus.
I don't think
like £1 probably.
Well, the Wi-Fi wasn't working. The Wi-Fi didn't work on the train either, so it didn't really make much difference between the two of them. But yeah, so that's been this week, really.
So what we got ahead? We've got Midland next weekend.
This weekend coming.
This week, yeah, Saturday night, isn't it? So that'll be Roundhouse in London Saturday night. They are obviously in Kingston Friday night for the Banquet Records gig as well at the church, which will be quite a quirky little venue.
It's nice. It's nice for it compared to all the others. It's quite nice to sort of see that they're starting in London, whereas everybody else is like finished up in London.
Everyone's finished here and then flown on to Germany, kind of thing. Haven't they? That seems to be the route that a lot have done this time round. So yeah, we've got that one.
Yeah, because Midland did their I saw they were in like Norway first, so it looked like they were doing European shows, then coming into London, and then going to the provinces, to Birmingham or Manchester or wherever else they go. And
then we're edging closer to our next festival, which I'm sure in a couple of weeks' time we'll do. We'll probably be recording this live on location in a couple of weeks.
We could well be filming live on location at Buckle and Boots.
From a campsite, just trying to laugh at Jamie break his tent down again as I do mine.
We will actually have, I'd imagine possibly before we kind of next record over the weekend, we'll possibly have our first piece of Buckle and Boots coverage on the site as well, because we're going to be speaking to American Young on Thursday, who are playing first. That's what really confused me.
So they play the bank.
They're playing the Thursday at Buckle and Boots. That's why it sort of threw me. It's like, am I speaking to them Thursday, or is they playing on Thursday? No, it's both. So yeah, that'll be really cool to catch up with Christy and John, and reminisce about not just my favorite Buckle and Boots memory, but possibly one of my favorite memories of all time. So when I first kind of met the guys properly, when Amy Westney was still living over here, we were kind of stood watching some music. We were chatting to Christy, and we went for a little walk up to kind of where Carl's cows are, kind of by the side of the house. And he's got an electric fence to obviously stop the cows coming out. And we'd sort of gone up. Amy had leant on it, and it was kind of a delayed reaction of Christy sort of looking at her going, I don't think you wanted to do that, did you? And it's like, no, I did. And literally halfway through, like when she got electrocuted, the delayed reaction was just like absolutely hilarious, and like one of the like the funniest things that I think of it. It wasn't actually that funny, but it kind of in that moment, and I never let her live that down. But
so we're not gonna. Are we gonna do? This is the question though. So Buckingham Boots weekend. Are you joining me for Parkrun?
Definitely not. When you did Parkrun last year, last time, you just went for a run and ended up on Parkrun.
So I went for a run, ended up on Parkrun, and I was like, right, I better just run back to the campsite now. That's a decent run. But I didn't really realise, I didn't know how I got into the site that the Parkrun was on. So I went off in the total wrong direction and ended up running like a half marathon around the hills of Stockport because I didn't know where I was.
That is pretty heroic. But yeah, we haven't actually mentioned, like, this is episode 13, which we didn't record on Friday the 13th. So, you know, I think it's fitting to sort of end because, you know, the way we're going to sum it up is, you know, another example of pure greatness. You know, we haven't talked a lot about sport, so, you know, we can sort of finish and sort of end on. So, you know, number 13, who are the candidates? I can't really think of any. Like,
I had Danny Murphy because it would have been, had we filmed on Friday, it was the same day that Fulham lost the Europa League final when he was captain. So that was my Danny Murphy shout for number 13. I can't think of any ice hockey players. Obviously, there is going to be some grudge matches in ice hockey coming up, as it is Calgary v Edmonton. Brett Kissel did predict it when I spoke with him for round 2 of the Stanley Cups. So there could be some grudge matches going on these next few weeks as they battle that one out. But no, I don't really know too many number 13s. So I'll leave it to you to go the greatest.
I think, you know, you could have sort of gone, if we wanted to steer away from sport, which we're not going to. 13 is obviously a little bit synonymous with Taylor Swift, but...
Wait, no, I've just remembered the 13.
Who?
Calgary, he scored the winning goal at so this morning there was like a thunderstorm. I don't know if you probably had it your way, like 4 a.m. Woke me up at 4 a.m. I was like, oh God, I'm not going back to sleep. Made the mistake of looking at my phone and realising the Calgary-Dallas game was in like halfway through the second period. So I was like, I might as well just get up now and just go crash on the sofa. Obviously, it tied 2-2 through the second, through the third, into overtime. And Calgary's number 13, Johnny Gaudreau, scored the overtime winner goal. Obviously, LHL, overtime, that's it. Golden goal sort of thing. So, yeah, he got Calgary through. So, yeah, that is Calgary's 13th at the minute. But I think no one can top it.
That is, well, I'm not entirely sure who Spurs' 13 is. I don't know. Galini's like the backup keeper, but I'm not sure if he's 13. But, you know, the most obvious 13 is, you know, synonymous again, you know, using synonymous twice in
Big words.
Big words. From the iconic Jim Carrey film Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, where he's kind of heavily referenced. One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. We've done a lot of quarterbacks and stuff. We had, like, you know, Romo, hero, God, all that sort of thing. Brady, GOAT, all that and things. But you know,
but Brady wasn't our choice. Brady was Brett Kissel's choice. We can get away with that one.
We probably would have gone with Brady though.
Of course we would, but we can justify that one not being our pick.
But you know, Dan Marino, you know, the only guy that's sort of gone through a season, you know, undefeated. Like it's not going to happen again. As much as people sort of say it, I say touch wood, it's not going to happen again because, you know, such a great quarterback and things. And so yeah, great number 13. So unlucky for some, but definitely lucky for him.
So that is the end of episode 13.
That is the end of episode 13. We need to get planning for 14s and try not to have some American football players.
I can only think of an Arsenal striker, so you won't let me do that.
he's we'll think about it, but he's good though. He is just good.
Right.
And
We will be back.
also, can I just point out as well? I think we may have recorded an episode that's not going to have the E as well.
Oh, really?
I don't think I've dropped.
No, we haven't. We've done well here.
It's going really well. Okay, let's just stop now because it's going to end really badly. We will be around. We're hoping you can do it over the weekend next week.
Over the weekend.
The plan is, fingers crossed, it's been good. And we'll
be posting from Midland Saturday night.
We will. And we'll have plenty of content on the way and stuff. We've got loads. So kind of in the meantime, we spoke to Jess Carson from Midland. We spoke to Jess Clements from Jess and the Bandits. Spoke to William Prince. Spoke to Elvie Shane today, which was so much fun. Going to be speaking to Isaac Gibson from 49 Winchester, speaking to Christian John from American Young, and Lindsay L. And that's all before we're going to be kind of be recording again. So plenty of stuff coming onto the site. And as well, we've got, Charlotte's been kind of taking photos for us. So the shots from Brett will be online soon. The shots from Ashley McBride are already online, and she's going to be taking pictures in Midland for us as well, which is absolutely fantastic.
Plenty to look forward to. Thank you very much, and we'll see you shortly.
See you later.